Okay, hands up if you want to see my bush. Whoa, whoa, that's a lot of hands. Okay, you get what you want. And here it is, my white bush. Yay! Okay. Yeah, sorry, probably not what you expected, but this isn't that kind of website, boys and girls. So this is a bush with a ridiculously long model number. Bear with me. It is a VUS34AE2O. Made in China, of course. Interestingly, 400 watts. 400 watts. Okay. You're probably wondering why the hell am I featuring this on the channel, because it's just, well, I thought it was just going to be a modern piece of crap. The history of this machine is my friend Curtis, he moved into his first house in February, late February this year. And the chap who was in the rental property before him, he sadly passed away. And he left quite a lot of stuff behind after he'd passed on. So his family came in and cleared the house out. They took everything that they wanted to take that was his. But they left some stuff behind, and one of those things that they left was this bush. So Kurt said to me, do you want this? Because I gave him a Miele upright. I thought that was quite a nice moving in present. Don't tell him that I only paid £10 for it. So that's a £300 Miele, that is. Like, yeah, it cost me a tenner. And then he said to me, do you want this old bush? Old, I say old, it's not old at all. I mean, 5 years maximum, absolute maximum it could be is 5 years. So I was like, oh, do I want that? Oh God, it's just a piece of Chinese crap. I thought, yeah, okay, whatever, I will take it. Because I thought I could strip it down, save the motor, put that in something else. Worst case is like, yeah, it just goes straight in the bin. And then one day I thought, oh, I've got that bush there that was Kurt's. I'll just try it. I'll try it out. And you know what? I really like it. And I surprised myself. We'll see it in action soon. So this has pretty much been my main go-to vacuum cleaner for the past March, April, May, June, 4 months. There's 4 months that I've had this and been using it. So all this dirt in the bin is actually mine. And it's 90% cat hair, because the cat is just shedding everywhere. Everything is covered in cat hair. The carpets, the furniture, the walls, me, it's in my mouth, it's just everywhere. And the bush is actually surprisingly good at getting it up. So I thought, oh wow, this is amazing. And I really enjoyed using it. And honestly guys, I'm so surprised. I was going to use this as another the worst vacuum cleaner video, but it is nowhere near a bad vacuum cleaner. It does suffer from the usual things that the cheap machines suffer from, i.e. it's only a single cyclone, although it does have this sort of extra baffle bit at the top here, which does help somewhat. It's got, I think, well, they would probably arguably say it's got 2 filters, but really it's just one filter at the top here of the cyclone that does get quite stuffed up with dust. You have to clean it on a regular basis. But if you do that, the machine just goes. It goes and goes and goes. It's surprisingly quiet because it's only got a 400 watt motor. It clamps itself down to the carpet, and the brush roll is so aggressive. It's one of the most aggressive brush rolls I have ever found, and the bristles are really stiff as well. So it's stiff and it's aggressive. Really, what more could you ask for? So I really enjoyed using it. One thing I will say is that whilst the suction is good. It's got good suction. As I say, it clamps itself down. When you use the tools, they clamp themselves down as well. The airflow is not brilliant. Yeah, so as we all know, an effective cleaner needs good suction, good airflow, and a good brush roll. So it's got a good brush roll, it's got good suction, but the airflow is not great. It doesn't move a lot of air, which does kind of let it down a bit when you're using the tools. But on the whole, yeah, quite surprised. One other thing, do you remember that Zanussi that I featured on the channel? This bush and that Zanussi are kind of the same ilk. They're like the budget range of upright cleaners. I think the Zanussi is probably a bit more expensive than this. This is an Argos special. For those who don't live in the UK, Argos is a chain of stores that sell everything. You wander in, you type the number into the machine, you pay for it, and then you go to a counter and they bring down and you pick up your item. Argos own the Bush label. Bush is a really old label. It dates back over 100 years. Well known for their radios back in the day. But it is now just a label. Argos owns the label, so they go to various manufacturers in China and say, we want you to make X number of this type of machine, be it a radio, a television, a vacuum cleaner, whatever. And it's only sold in their stores, and then they slap the Bush label on it. So they're kind of trading on the old Bush name, which is a real shame. Bush used to be really good quality. They made wonderful, wonderful machines, but not anymore. It's just, yeah, it's Chinese crap with a Argos-owned Bush label on it. But having said that, for your money, not bad. Sorry, I was talking about that Zanussi, wasn't I? There's no post-motor filter. The Zanussi didn't have it. This Bush doesn't have it either. This is just like, it looks like it should be here, but this is just a piece of plastic that's part of the base where the motor sits. Yeah, so there's no post-motor filter. The filtration is not brilliant, and you can kind of see it here. It's not as white as it should be because the fine dust is just coming out of the cleaner and being blown back into the room. So if you've got breathing problems, one of these budget machines is definitely not for you. Do not buy a budget cleaner. Apart from those issues, I do actually really like it. And there's one really cool feature as well. If I just get the flex out of the way, you've got the hose here. So the hose detaches. And when you see it, there's this little nipple here. It's always a little nipple. And you look at it and think, what's that for? Why is there a little nipple on that hose? What does it do? Well, you press this lever here on the top, which you can't really see, and then you can whip out the handle like that. And then you connect your hose to the handle, it locks in, you have a huge piece of plastic then, which is sort of quite unwieldy. I tend to hold it here actually when I'm using it. So your handle becomes your extension rod, and then you can pop your tools onto it. And it works really well. It's honestly, you would never think it. You look at it, you go, oh God, that's awful. But yeah, I'm so surprised. For a cheap budget cleaner, 400 watts, it is surprisingly good. So yeah, if you're on a budget and you need a new vacuum cleaner, and you haven't got breathing issues and you don't mind dusting, then I would highly recommend you spending your £79 or whatever it is on one of these machines. We're going to go into the lounge shortly, and I'm going to turn it on and you're going to see it running. So the question now is, what am I going to do with this? Because I don't really want to keep it. It's not something that I would collect because it's too new and it's Chinese crap, and it's like, why would I keep it? And I have a huge selection of vacuum cleaners that I can choose from to do my cleaning with. And then the answer came to me. A lady contacted me and said, can you repair my Hoover? And she brought this god-awful thing in. This, what even is it? It's a Hoover Breeze. A 2200 watt, 2.2 kilowatts. It's just mental. There's no need for that. 2.2 kilowatts, 400 watts. Ugh. The bad old days. Seriously, the bad old days. So they're quite similar cleaners. However, the Bush is a far superior machine. Now, I can't believe I'm saying that. From a Hoover, the Bush is better. It has a much simpler cyclone system. This gets really bunged up. I believe this is like a pleated filter in here. Again, single cyclone, pleated filter. Look, it's got duct tape holding the HEPA filter in. Is it HEPA? It might be HEPA. Yeah, it's a HEPA filter. Great, HEPA, brilliant. But it gets so hot that this just goes poof out the front. And I when she brought it in, I thought, oh God, do I really want to get involved with that? And honestly, I don't think I do, because I can't fix this because the plastic would have expanded or broken. I probably won't be able to get a new pleated filter. I can clean it off, fine, but I need to charge her to fix this. She's going to use it once and it's just going to be exactly the same. This is going to be flying across the room. There's going to be no suction, no airflow. It's a piece of crap that needs to go into the bin. So what I thought was, I'll sort the Bush out and I will say to her, look, for the same amount of money that I can refurbish this, I'll sell you this Bush. Buy the Bush, it is so much better than your Hoover. And then she can come round and she can try it out, and honestly, she'll love it. She will love it. She'll see all the cat hair being picked up in the bin. It'll be perfect for her. So that's the plan. I will try and sell it. I will report back to you to see how that goes. But for now, that's enough waffling. Let's take the Bush into the lounge and you can see it running. Okay, using the Bush VUS34AE2O, whatever it was, indicative of a lot of the modern cheap vacuum cleaners. Annoyingly, the flex goes into the base here, as you can see where I'm pointing with my toe. I hate this because you've always got to have the flex in your hand. Now, there is a hook at the top to put the cable in, but when you do that, you can't take the handle out, so it's like, oh, for God's sake, okay, whatever. So yeah, that's a bit shit. Now, bear in mind, guys, that you're seeing it as is with the dirt in it, so I haven't cleaned it up, I haven't cleaned the filters or anything like that, but it is as is, if you like. So, let's turn him on. Now, I've got to say, that is so quiet. That 400 watt motor, it's brilliant. If you don't want to get deafened, not brilliant, very little airflow. I will forgive it somewhat because I haven't cleaned the filter. But it's not bad, it does the job. Right, let's do some cleaning. Might need a new belt as well. Now, interestingly, you can see how aggressive that brush roll is. You can see how it's picking up the pile of this rug. And this is not a long pile rug by any means, but it's really picking it up. It's it's quite shocking how good that brush roll is. let's give the tools a go by vacuuming off the old puff. So I've got the hose and the AP tool, pop those in. It has vents as well on the side of the tool, which is quite cool. Yeah, not bad. So, in conclusion, yeah, it's not bad. Surprisingly good. As I say, if you can find one of these cheap and you don't have breathing problems, buy it. You could do a lot worse than the Bosch VUS34AE2O thingy, whatever. Perfect. That's it for this video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to do the usual, commenting, subscribing and liking, and I'll see you guys in the next one. You take care. Bye.